Hmm. Hello and welcome. I'm Katie Hamilton, Health and Transformation Coach, and I'm going to guide you through how to activate your deepest core muscles and 3 exercises that you can practice to gain connection to these muscles and gain mastery over being able to turn them on demand. So let's get started. You're going to need a yoga mat. Okay, we're going to start on our back. Okay, so coming to lay on your back. And we're going to relax the arms by our side. Feet flat on the ground, knees bent. And I would like you to focus on your breath. Inhale and exhale, feeling the bones and the muscles relax into the mat as we focus on breathing deep into our belly. I'd like you to place your hand on your belly. We're going to exaggerate our inhale by breathing up into our hand. And then exaggerate your exhale by drawing your belly down away from your hand, belly button towards your spine. Continue with that breathing. And as you do this breathing, as you move through this movement pattern of inhaling and exhaling, exaggerating the movement in your belly, you're starting to flex your deeper abdominal muscles. And they're called the one that we're focusing on right now is called your transverse abdominis, which I refer to as your corset muscle because it runs like a corset around your entire torso and tightens up your waistline, tightens and flattens your belly, and it inserts on your spine. So it gives stability to your posture and your spine. So we're going to continue to breathe and connect to this deeper abdominal muscle. Drawing the belly in and starting to feel how you can flex your entire waistline and start to feel like you have a corset tightening, and then inhale, release the corset muscle. And then exhale, draw. I refer to it as a corset or TA, draw the TA, transverse abdominis tight. And then inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. And this deeper abdominal muscle is a muscle we want contracted when we move in any sort of strength training. So if we're going to build upon this, which we are about to soon, we're going to challenge our body by moving our right heel away from us and bringing it back. And I'm going to guide us through that. But before I do, I want to direct your pelvis. So your pelvis is like a bowl, and I want it to sit the water to be completely flat. So you're not tipping the bowl of water towards your heels or towards your head. So I want you to think of your pelvis as neutralizing this pelvis bowl. And what you're going to feel in your lower back is a small curve in your lower back, just a small one. So go ahead and tip your pelvis forward and back, exaggerating that bowl. So you're tipping it towards your heels and tipping it back towards your head. And you're doing that using your abdominal muscles, not your bum. So notice how you have control over the pelvis. And then I want you to find what feels like neutral. And again, there's a small curve in your lower back. So you're not imprinting your lower spine into the earth. And from here, firm up on your lower belly, firm up on your belly button. So draw your lower belly down, belly button down, and then tighten up through your waistline like you're someone's tightening up the corset. And engage your left glute. So engage your left bum cheek. And that's going to help stabilize the pelvis and the spine as we glide the right heel away from us and bring it back in. Glide the right heel away and bring it back in. So you're gliding and you're maintaining neutral pelvis by igniting your left glutes, which is going to help to support maintaining the left side of your pelvis neutral. And then your lower left abdominal muscles are hugging in to support neutralizing the pelvis while you move your right heel. So there's a lot to think about. And in Pilates, we focus on precision and slowing the movement down so that we're in full awareness of every single aspect of this movement and what is moving our body. So the muscles that are in charge of moving the body. So it's very mindful, very focused, and then bring that heel back in. Let's go ahead and try the other side. So pull the belly in tight. Engage the lower left, right obliques. This is another part of your abdominal muscles that help to anchor the pelvis. Right glute. Hold this tight, ribs down. So you're pulling your ribs down towards your hip bones. Everything's engaged. And then we release the left heel on the earth. Now you can bring your hands by your side. Actively reach your fingertips towards your heels. And reach that heel away from you, left heel and back. Do your best to continue to engage your core muscles. And how that's going to translate in your body is it's like you're flattening out your belly. You're really like pulling everything in, and that creates a flattening effect in your belly. Your ribs are staying down. So a tendency is to pop the ribs up towards the sky. We want to pull the ribs down towards the floor, the front ribs here. Okay, 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, so we're going to add on. We're going to go ahead and start to connect to our pelvic floor muscles. So the pelvic floor muscles are the muscles that stop the flow of pee. So I want you to pull them up. They're deep internal muscles. So you can't see any flexion from the outside, but on the inside, you can feel the deep abdominal pelvic floor muscles pulling in and up. And then anchor the belly button down. Meanwhile, pull the pelvic floor muscles up like you're stopping the flow of pee. And then draw the ribs down so your top ribs are pulling in. So you've got this like really strong connection in your deeper abdominal muscles. Engage the left glute. And now glide the right heel away and continue to pull up on the pelvic floor muscles as if you're stopping the flow of pee. That's the best way I can describe what it feels like to flex these muscles. Reach your fingertips towards your heels and do your best to keep scanning your body, ribs, belly button, pelvic floor muscles, lower left abdominal muscles, left glute. All of that is staying very connected to make this what looks like the simplest movement pattern quite complex, because we are igniting all the right muscles to support stability while the right leg moves. And we're going to switch legs. Take a moment, relax all of that. Let's take a couple of breaths. One more. And then we'll switch. So we're going to engage the ribs, draw the ribs towards the hip bones, belly button down towards the spine, cinch in that waistline, pull up on the pelvic floor muscle or the P muscles, engage your right glute, engage the right lower obliques here, holding the side of the pelvis in place, and then glide the left heel away. Reach the fingertips towards the heels. I know it seems like a lot, but the more we practice this, the easier it gets to focus on multiple places and be able to have control over this without really being so like, okay, this, it just kind of happens. This is a neuromuscular pattern. It's a building a new pattern in the brain, connecting to the muscles. And the only way to get really good at it is to practice consistently. It took me a couple years to be able to feel really confident in this right here, this movement pattern, and be able to talk while focusing. Zip up on that pelvic floor. So notice how it can turn off really quickly. We want to continue to tell it with our brain to fire. So we're going to fire up those muscles consciously. One more. And release. Okay, we're going to build upon this. So we're going to make the movement pattern just a little bit harder. Maybe not. Maybe you'll find this one easier, actually. But same idea. We're going to use the same muscle groups to support while moving the right leg up and down into tabletop. So before we do, I'm going to walk us through it. Ribs in, belly button in, waistline tight, pelvic floor lifted, left glute engaged, and now bring the right leg up into tabletop and heel touches the earth. Up into tabletop and heel touches the earth. So this is one where the ribs want to start lifting and popping. So we've got to work on pulling down on the abdominal muscles that anchor the ribs, the top ribs down, flattening out through the core. Keep zipping up the transverse abdominis muscle, your corset muscle. Keep pulling up on your P muscles, up and down. With the right leg, we got one more. And release. Press firmly down through the right foot. All four corners of the foot firmly down. Anchor the right glute. Keep that core strong. We're going to switch to the left leg. Keep that pelvic floor lifted. Slow it down. No rush. In fact, slower is better. That's it. Keep going. Pull those ribs down. Pull the belly button in. We got 3 more. Lift up on the pelvic floor. 2. Anchor the right glute. And 1. And release. Okay, so we're gonna activate our glutes while holding neutral spine using all those muscles we just talked about. Okay, so the glutes are part of our trunk. They're at the base of the trunk. Really important for supporting the foundation of our alignment and posture. So we're going to activate our glutes, but I'm going to draw your attention to your feet. So right now, I want you to press down through all 4 corners of the feet. And when we press down, just to note, when you press down through the big toes, you activate your inner thighs. When you press down through your heels, you activate your bum. Those are really important muscles in moving our pelvis into extension. So here we go. Press down through your hands, firm up the back of your arms, draw the ribs down, belly button to spine, pelvic floor lifts, and then we lift our hips up, holding neutral spine the entire time. So we're not tucking the pelvis, we land in neutral spine. So there should be no adjustment when you come back to the earth. So lift the hips up and down. Lift the hips up and down. So this is starting to activate the glutes and the hamstrings. Really important muscles in supporting our lower back and activities of daily living. That's it. Up. Keep pushing down through your big toes to make sure your inner thighs are firing up. We have 3 more. Ribs in. 2. And last one. Come on up and all the way down. Well done. All right, so those are the 3 exercises to practice to fire up our deepest core muscles, supporting postural muscles. And now I'm going to guide us through standing up in a safe way for our spine. So most people sort of like jerk themselves up from this position, not ideal. We're going to straighten the right leg and straighten the right arm. Keep the left knee bent, engage your core, and roll over on to your right side. You're going to switch legs, draw the right knee up, left leg straight. Press into the floor with your left hand, using your core. Head comes up last, push yourself up to a seated position. This also helps prevent any sort of blood pressure adjustments and feeling lightheaded. And then we're going to shift ourselves over onto all fours. And from this position, we're going to walk our bum back to our heels, hands to our knees, push back into your heels. And you can either roll yourself up, so heels down, you can roll yourself up 1 vertebrae at a time. Or from this position, You can push back and stand up, bum out like you're doing a squat, and all the way up. All right. Good work. So have fun. Use this video for guidance and practice. And the more that you practice these patterns, the easier it's going to be to recruit these muscles, especially when we build into more complex movement patterns. Enjoy.